Yeah, and I mean, it's entirely possible that he will be able to get those picks because, I mean, given the way the bans have been going, sure, Puck's been a regular, frequent ban, but
I'm just worried.
he's pretty well-rounded.
I'm just worried if he doesn't get one of them.
That is true. Looks like teams and players are ready. Which means we are now going to be going straight into the final best of one for the day. It is going to be iG.Vit versus Digital Chaos.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
As always, so excited, given how hard of an influence.
DC's turn.
Go Mason.
Go Mason. You know, we haven't even talked about Mason. Mason was an absolute delight to watch in the end qualifiers. Exceptional player.
Back from TI4. It's been a while since he's been on the main stage, but he has only ever gotten top 3 at TI in every TI he's played in.
Later, Meepo. Seems like he's making their homework, banning the Lich.
Drow Meepo, first ban from iG.Vitality. Love it.
Getting rid of the cheese. Get out of here, trying to win. All right. Nagamurana, very EG kind of style here. Saw this not work out for them earlier.
But you know, the net for Naga Siren to freeze an enemy in place. Great setup for Murata's long stun.
I think that's one of Mason's best heroes, Murata. People think Murata and Weaver exceptionally well.
That was old school, man. That was TI4 Mason. Yep. Safe lane. Murata, Weaver, Storm.
Sand King and Shadow Shaman seem like very safe, well-rounded picks. Shadow Shaman's ability to push towers and have long lockdown. Sand King, nice little bit of everything. Stun, little wave clear.
And also that Sand King can actually also go to the offlane, so it's quite open. They have one support and then one hero that can both. So the way we saw Newbie deal with the Naga and the Murata was the dual combo of OD plus Abba to render this combo completely. If you get rid, like Sleep, like Naga doesn't actually do that much damage, it's just a lot of setup. But if you're set up for something underwhelming, like Arrow, then if it's countered by those 2 heroes, then you're not actually doing these that much in the team.
Turn to ban.
Enigma banned out, reducing fight capabilities of Naga Siren.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that the Sleep from Naga Siren with easy setups for Black Hole is a really potent combination.
And the second one's Disruptor.
Yeah, anybody's close to get.
DC's turn to pick.
Sleep them and set up.
Early Sven pick.
I said iG.Vit Sven pick, also taking that away from Mason, who has a lot of success group stages with that hero.
Yeah, and watching Paparazzi play Sven is just a real treat. He's exceptional at knowing when it's an appropriate time to leave lane in order to farm the jungle, but also to free up any support from needing to protect him in lane.
He actually puts a lot of pressure on the other team because he's one of the heroes that clears stacks the fastest, so if you don't do anything to stop the ancient stacks, and when he's jungling, you're in a very bad position.
Also a BKB core coming out of Naga Sleep. If there's some danger ahead of him, he can just pop that black bar after the Naga Sleep.
iG.Vit
ready to fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
The Bulba Spirit Breaker.
Yes.
He had a great game on it in the group stage. Really set the tone. It's a great hero for establishing direction for a team. It's you just kind of you charge someone, you say you're charging them, and you hope your teammates follow up. And if it doesn't look good, just cancel the charge and walk away.
And the probability of your teammates following up increases as you get closer to TI main stage.
Definitely. We'll see how the RNG gods favor Bulba in this game. Hopefully
17% is awfully high.
Yeah, why not 20? Let's go with 20%.
Ah, Darkseer.
Darkseer Sven, that's a Virtus Pro classic. These 2 heroes synergize pretty well. I think Sven is the one here that does enable Darkseer to be a pickable hero, in my opinion. Not a big fan of the hero.
Primarily due to the vacuum slurping all the heroes together in Sven's cleave.
Yeah, well, I also think Sven is a hero that'll build a Blink Dagger, and he almost becomes, he's one of the cores that has some sort of initiation power. I do like teams to have 2 initiators, so they have that now with the Sand King and Sven.
They also have the Sand King who can actually go up to the Darkseer's lane and be able to bully the safe lane of DC a bit with the Iron Shell on Sand King and roaming around with it. Also additional counter initiation against the Sleep combo if they do want to work with that and not just rely on BKB Sven.
I gotta say, I just love watching Spirit
iG.Vit
games.
turn to
It's so fun watching them bomb in.
The Death Prophet for Abed.
I think DC has quite a good lineup against the Sun. They have the Spirit Breaker ultimate who goes through the BKB so he can CC the Sun a bit. They have Naga Net to CC the Sun. And the DP ulti also goes through the BKB.
10
Warcry is
seconds
pretty good here, though.
It is, for sure.
Yeah, lots of positive armor with the Warcry and the eventual mech
DCs
from
turn
Darkseer.
to ban.
I think probably seeing Forev on the Mirana. Last pick Mason hero. I don't know if Mason does play the Mirana.
Usually no. I've seen
Fine.
Forever play some weird offlanes this turn.
Yeah.
Play Wind Ranger, Mirana.
Naga play?
10 seconds.
Then it would be I don't know
The old one?
that. So maybe a Dugu Naga,
5
Bulba Spirit
seconds
Breaker.
remaining.
Okay. See what these last bands are telling us here. We got Necrophos banned out from iG.Vit, and then Puck from DC.
iG.Vit's turn to pick.
Digital Chaos choose relatively
Mason
quickly
Lifestealer.
Lifestealer.
Yes.
Always it's a classic combination with Spirit Breaker. You climb inside Spirit Breaker, you go cross map, surprise.
You sound like you have some experience.
I have experience on both ends. In fact, one of my first games of Dota, I did not know that Spirit Breaker was a hero. And then another hero popped out of him, and I was just like,
So what did you think was charging at you? An angry neutral?
just a giant stampeding blue cow was just crashing right into me. Oh, it was terrifying.
If you knew it was Bulba, would you be more or less scared?
I would be exactly neutrally scared.
All right.
It would have no impact on my fear.
So he treats Bulba as a creep. As a neutral creep.
That's right.
That's mean. So the Lifestealer is very good against Darkseer on the lane as well. So they don't really have to help him. They can actually even leave him there if they want to. Just help him a bit in the beginning. Otherwise you can see other carriers that actually suffers a bit.
I don't know how much I like this Naga pick now. There's nothing really to combo with. It's almost entirely used for counter initiation. Does he just kind of play the game slow and farm? Oh, first appearance of Storm Spirit.
Storm is always a treat to watch, just with his mobility, being able to slip into back lines, pick off squishy heroes.
Sakata Storm Spirit is great too. I saw a bit of this at DAC, I believe.
Well, I am personally very excited to see Storm Spirit make a debut here on the main stage, and of course, Storm Spirit, first appearance as well. It is a best of one between iG.Vitality and Digital Chaos. It is the last match of the day. Let's throw to the casters to find out who will win and who will go home.
It will definitely be a long night, but who will it be really long for? The team that loses, the team that has to think about what could have been. That's dark, but true. So's the night.
Yeah.
And it's full
Very
of
good.
terrors for one of these teams.
That was actually...
iG.Vitality versus Digital Chaos. Who do you feel like? We've talked about underdog teams so far. We've had both of the teams from the bottom of the group being knocked out already tonight. Do we give an advantage to iG.Vit? Do we say the strength of China is just so strong here at TI7 that you have to go for them? Or is Digital Chaos the team with the edge?
I'm mainly looking at the draft. I think when it comes to these best of ones, I think this is maybe one of the closer matchups that we had today out of the, well, definitely one of the closest in the lower bracket in terms of how these teams performed in the group stage. DC actually showed a lot of really great promise and had a couple of games that they were in a very good position in but shouldn't have lost. And similarly for iG.Vit. But looking at the draft, I personally like the iG.Vit draft in this game. I am always a big fan of these like last pick Storm Spirits that are more or less uncountered. The hero just has a tendency to really take off. There isn't much stopping him here. The only thing that he really needs to look out for is actually the Death Prophet Silence. Spirit Breaker you can pretty easily counterplay. When he charges you, you can just jump through him, and then you break the charge, or you can jump away and he can't chase you forever. You can play around Song of the Siren pretty well when you have, I guess you can get Song into Arrowed or something like that, but it needs to be something very specific. Lifestealer has got nothing on Storm, and yeah, it's overall just a really good Storm game. And iG.Vit with a solid team fight lineup, whereas as PPD pointed out, DC's lineup is a lot more about counter-initiating, and I feel like that's going to be a pretty difficult type of game to play into this type of lineup. So we'll see how it goes. I favor iG.Vit based on draft at least, and we got a rune fight.
Yeah, they're coming to contest the bottom. Spirit Breaker is charging his way down. I'm wondering how long it's going to take. Is Dubu with the first Riptide now shackled up. Here comes your charge. You'll go through all three heroes. Actually, no, it doesn't. It only connects on the Shaman, but Dubu's so low. The Riptide will help him get the kill. They're moving past the rune. Dubu, he's going to grab that as well. Actually, no. Bulba, it's a 1-for-1 trade-off. Dubu will fall. Paparazzi finds the kill. Bulba has charge available. Dogfights with heavy amounts of damage taken. Will move off the rune, but we had 2 go the way of DC. Bulba was able to grab that rune on the bottom. So 3 runes actually the way of DC at the end of it all.
I think iG.Vit could have maybe got away with that first blood if Shadow Shaman just kept attacking. That hero has really high base damage, so in early exchanges like that, you want to just stand your ground, hit, instead of trying to walk away with your incredible 285 base move speed. It's not really going to happen anyway.
They're going after Paparazzi. He doesn't have a war cry for Rev, doesn't have arrow. He went for leap to start with. So it's just the attack speed he's gotten. The double stun will allow him to retreat back to the tier 1 tower. And not to mention that, he just munched on an Observer Ward. So more money, better regen.
Why did he skill leap?
Maybe they believe the attack speed's better.
I don't think that's the reason. He might have misclicked, or did they use it in the rune fight? Actually, I didn't really notice. It's just very peculiar.
He could have leapt away to try and survive the rune fight. I also was paying more attention to the supports dying.
I thought they were going on the Naga. Oh, anyway, he didn't have the arrow. They didn't kill. That's kind of the end of that. Let's have a look at mid. This is something that is generally a very good indication of a good start in mid. Is that
I want to look up towards top because they're actually going for a kill on Lifestealer. He's going to rage up, has Feast available. In July was burning him down quite nicely. He was like Mason's just been burning to these iron shells non-stop.
He has a lot of regen though. He went Flask plus 8 tangos, probably expecting this type of lane. Lifestealer, in addition to that, has a decent matchup against Darkseer because he can use rage and just kill the Iron Shell creep later on, and has decent natural sustain by just hitting creeps all the time. He's going to heal up. I was going to say this mid lane was looking good for Abed with a double wave. He managed to push into Sakata, but Sakata played pretty well on the tower and more or less equalized this mid lane early on. So, looking good for both mid laners. Dubu is going to lay into Supravit, steals his bounty rune. Very nice by Dubu to manage to secure that.
But this happens too when Bulba's crossing behind the tower. Like he's moving between the tier 1, tier 2 tower and the mid. The Observer Wards are not near it, so no, he doesn't actually have eyes on the Courier.
Imagine you could charge the Courier.
They're going to charge mid instead, over towards the Storm Spirit, already starting with the Crypt Swarm. Spirit Siphon already going to work as well. Death Prop is able to tank, but Dogfight's being involved in this fight. Abed doesn't actually want to get too close. Burrow striked up, but at least there is no more pressure coming from the Storm Spirit, so both mids will just have to start regenning. Maybe bottom lane is where the trouble is. Dubu on the run out, already Riptide for Rev. Threw the arrow out, and Paparazzi bone dry on mana. Will also have to retreat back to the lane. He needs regeneration too. Both Super as well as Paparazzi are out of regeneration on the bottom. And the Courier is heading up to Injuly on the top to try and finish his Soul Ring. He's heading to Mango North.
He's got good farm. This is something that PPD mentioned earlier on the panel, was that the Darkseer is more of a greedy offlaner that really wants to farm rather than set his team up for a long time. In some matchups, Darkseer can get shut down really hard. Something like the Nyx Assassin support role can actually just ruin your game, because if you don't get to the Soul Ring in a good time, your entire build-up is just delayed too much. But Injuly has a great start here. He's getting very good farm. He's in a position now where he can cut the wave because the opposing carry can't counterplay him at all anyway. Great hero against Lifestealer at pretty much every stage of the game. This Darkseer has some very nice counterplay potential, and this means Injuly will outfarm the Lifestealer, because this is how this lane's going to go. He will Iron Shell himself, he'll cut the wave, and then he'll go and farm the small camp. And Lifestealer is in his tower the whole time.
Bulba into Super.
Oh, good bash.
Extra bash as well. Abed dies in the meantime, but Dubu will team up with Bulba to find that kill. So Death Prophet actually dying very close to the tier 1 tower in mid. Dogfights was waiting in the tree line the entire time just for that over-aggressive play onto a Storm Spirit who was sitting at maybe a quarter of his life. And he fell for it. Storm Spirit survives, and Death Prophet dies.
Who got the kill? Oh, you're shared. Okay.
Yep.
That's still a very big kill.
It was the tower probably doing most of the work.
You can, by the way, we didn't talk about this, but you can see the wording from DC in the top area of the map, what they were intending. They're like, okay, we're going to put you against the Darkseer. We want Darkseer to not have access to the side pole because he's always going to push you in. And you're just going to fend for yourself up here while we leave you, and at least he can't farm that camp. The problem is Darkseer can just farm the other one. It's still better that they blocked that camp.
They're going
mid lane,
again.
Sakata, if there's a bash here, he's going to die.
They really want to get this no bash, but
need it.
it will still be enough for the Spirit Siphon.
I had double damage. Okay, I didn't see that. Yeah, the Death Prophet hits pretty hard right now. 150 a pop right now. So, look at that.
And cancelling off the clarity of dogfights. Bottom lane, nice arrow. This is an easy combination. Spirit Breaker still charging down here, so Paparazzi can move back behind the tower. He's got 5 stick charges, just committed them there, but Bulba under the tower with Dubu. They find yet another kill with this aggressive rotation you expected from a Spirit Breaker, and you're getting exactly what you expected.
They're off to a great start, DC. All of this pressure on Sven is going to have a huge impact on the game. You can see Paparazzi has queued up an Iron Talon. He just wants to get out of this lane. He's tired of being shut down so hard. But he's being delayed a lot, and the Lifestealer isn't. Mason is just free farming top. Obviously, the Darkseer's being annoying and taking a small camp, but he's still getting his own. So if this is what they're accomplishing based on trading off that top, that's super DC favored.
This move is so good from DC. The smoke gang came out from dogfights as well as super. They were originally Thievek going towards the mid. Now they head down into the jungle. They're looking for Sven, who abandoned the bottom lane. Arbed smoked up with Bulba, and they've seen a little bit more damage. Bulba will provide it. And this has to now pay off for iG.Vit on top to get the counter kill. They can look towards Mason. He is the top net worth on the DC lineup. But they need that stun before he can rage and before he can infest. But rage is able to be triggered.
That kill is so much harder.
They're going to come under the tower. No rage available. Infest is up. Super. Well, he's got shackles, but the problem is, what's he going to do? Deny his own catapult? Not possible. So Mason jumps out. They got no more creep wave to fight underneath the tower. Not unless In July can do exactly this, creep skip it.
This is the kind of early game you want DC to have if you're cheering for them. This is looking very solid, and I think it's important because of the difficulty of playing their lineups later on in the game compared to the ease of execution for iG.Vit's team fight, that DC managed to especially shut down this Sven. iG.Vit's lineup kind of falls a bit flat if Sven doesn't have a game. That's just how the hero works. I think this hero plays horribly from behind, and they just haven't been able to secure him at all.
Problematic. At least there's some ancient stacks for him to work with, but yeah, he needs that cleave level. Forev now has a free lane on bottom to do his farm, so this is a point when DC are practically running a three farmed core lineup.
Yeah.
Plus the Spirit Breaker, who has more net worth than the Sven. Almost has as much net worth as the Mirana, just because these skank rotations, he's taken 3 of them, hasn't died once, and has 2 assists. Every single one that DC has gone for, Bulba has been involved.
Yeah, he got a really fast urn. That's such a value item on Spirit Breaker. I'm not sure if the new urn or the old urn was better. The old one gave some strength, this one gives armor. The all attributes is very nice at least to get some more mana pool. And Spirit Breaker is like the archetype hero you want to have an urn on, because he's just, all this hero wants to do is scout and kill. Just be involved around everywhere a kill happens, so you're almost guaranteed to get many urn charges every game.
Dogfights and In July are going to try and team up again. They have the Iron Shell on the Sand King with a level 2 Burrow Strike, but now the smoke breaks. They have to jump forward. Sakata burning half his man to do this. Bulba charging forward creates more space, and the Moonlight Shadow, they can't see him. They have to throw down the Darkseer wall just to get a copy of Bulba. To be farmed up by Arbed, but that gang from iG.Vit, it needed to work. They pulled their 3 position in to do this.
That was 2 smokes in a row from iG.Vit that didn't give a kill. First the one to top where they did kill Mason, and now the one to mid where they didn't kill Arbed. So they're starting to run pretty short on ways of engaging fights, whereas DC, they have multiple smokes remaining, and they have the Moonlight Shadow, so it's...
They've got a better way to push too. That Exorcism hasn't even been expended yet, but you've got a double damage rune at the hands of the Death Prophet. She wants to fight. They're able to do so. Bulba pulling out of the charge, and I don't know if that was his own joke. He just cracked the cymbal too.
Maybe he just likes that sound.
And put him bunching.
Like some players like to listen to music while they play ball, but just plays that drum roll once in a while.
He doesn't use a drumstick, he uses a magic wand. Mason. Well, Darkseer returns to the lane, so we can't chip away at that tower anymore. And they're trying to give room to dogfights on the bottom to get his farm. A very dangerous notion when you've got Forever and Dubu ready to hunt. They can keep the vision up thanks to this. As the Bulba charge forward, there is an Observer Ward on top of the Dire Shrine. This is what's allowing them to see when Bulba is moving out quickly. But that's the only real advantage they have. If Bulba's still able to connect, the kill will happen, so Dogfights has to return to his tower. Paparazzi's being pushed out of his own jungle by the illusions of Dubu.
Forever is starting to lay into this tier 2 tower. I wonder when iG.Vit are going to do something about this bottom lane. DC has pretty much set up camp down here. They know that their lifestealer top is pretty safe. Even if he dies once, it's probably okay, and iG.Vit is just farming away at mid. So DC are controlling this very, very well.
Do they have the mana to really do it? Like, until Cicada's able to pick up that Soul Ring, he doesn't look like he's strong enough to get into the fight.
Yeah, Storm is a... That's maybe the problem that iG.Vit's lineup has that we didn't identify and talk about earlier, is that the 3 cores actually all have build-up time. Storm wants to farm, Sven wants to farm, and Darkseer wants to farm. So there's a lot of pressure on these supports to make the moves work, and if they fail, who are you going to rely on? Like, nobody is ready to go right now for iG.Vit. The more I look at it, this lineup is actually very greedy.
They're about to try and push the mid. 4 heroes up from Digital Chaos. Lifesteal still farming the top. The pressure on the bottom tier 2 tower and inside the jungle has forced iG.Vit to back up behind the tower. But now they want to fight into Exorcism and 4 Spirit Siphons available for Abed. Getting that kill is almost impossible. And there's 15 wand charges on this Death Prophet. She's got so much life.
This tower's gone.
Yeah.
You can't hold this as iG.Vit right now. You're not in any position to fight. If you engage here, it's just going to be even worse. They cut their losses, identifying the right play.
I'm waiting for Dubu to slip around the back. Paparazzi ran to the top lane to try and combo up with In July, trying to get that Darkseer and Sven combination. The big thing that is the reason why this Darkseer is picked up. They tried to make it work, but it doesn't happen. Now Paparazzi trapped with no God Strength. Arrow is perfect, combining up with the stun of Bulba. Paparazzi will fall, and Digital Chaos extending their lead now just almost above 5,000 gold in 11 minutes. 2K in the experience, momentum is theirs. But now we have that Soul Ring on the Storm Spirit.
It's almost 6, so that's pretty good. But they need these Mass Serpent Wards, and they need these key items, especially the Darkseer mech is going to help out a lot in their team fighting ability. So they got to play it slow. DC is also a team in the group stage that slowed weakness with going high ground. I think they had multiple games they were really far ahead in, and then they made some crucial mistakes and ended up losing. That is probably in the back of both teams' minds as well, that, you know, we could also always have that DC situation that kind of has been their Achilles heel in the groups, to be honest. They could have won a lot of games.
All right, now there's a fight down on bottom lane. This could be a nice pick-off. It's going to be Forev. The Charger's coming forward. Forev can't leap away far enough, but now Abed and Dubu teaming up together. The silence stopping the Stormspear from getting away. So is the Ensnare. Charge still coming from the Spirit Breaker, but Song of the Siren. Dubu's buying time for the arrival of the Mad Space Cow. No, the Burrow Strike! Dogfights keeps him away, creating space for Cicada to get back past the tier 2 tower. And Dogfights, he knows he just saved his core.
That was so fast on that Burrow Strike. If he's just a little bit slower, that's a kill. And DC can obviously also combine that a bit better with the song, but it's still very good execution.
So here's that Song of the Siren charging in.
There was like a bit of time maybe.
They caught a glimpse of him, I believe, from the Observer Ward just to the north, watching over the bottom rune. That's what gave him a small bit of warning that it was coming.
Yep.
But it's coming once more, and now he'll TP away. Dogfights will go north. And Bulba?
Well, he's going to know that Sand went top, which is actually fairly valuable information.
But this Observer Ward's getting even more from iG.Vit. It's paid dividends already. And they commit the Mass Serpent Ward, so the tier 1 tower on the top lane. In July is taking care of the creep wave, as well as any harassment from the tower. And this is a pretty simple tier 1 tower. The DC have shown no interest in defending and haven't got a revenge kill in return. Tier 2 tower on bottom is what they would like. And maybe they can still take that.
I can try for it. They have to commit Exorcism to have any hope of doing this. And you got to remember, all the time this is happening, this Sven is slowly catching up. You know, he had a super hard time and then he went Iron Talon. Now he's going to go for the Mask of Madness coming in, so full farming build-up. So DC might feel a little bit under the clock here, that they have to get something done.
Well, they're taking out the tier 2 tower on bottom. They are burning Exorcism for this, so for at least the next 2 minutes, iG.Vitality know that DC aren't looking for a big fight. And they also understand that DC are probably not going to do Roshan. So now they look for the fight. The ulti is down. They did that just out of range, I believe, of the Dire Observer Ward. Little uncertain if they did see it or not, but iG.Vit ready to wrap around the back of the mid tower. Exorcism has now returned into iG.Vit, so he's already got the regeneration from that. And with a surge of dogfights and the Iron Shield burn, Shackles to follow up. They bring down the Death Prophet before she can get a Siphon off, and Spirit Breaker charge. They're using the Moonlight Shadow to get in close. But do they believe they have enough damage? At the moment, Paparazzi isn't there. He's battling with Dubu on bottom, and that's exactly where DC turned their attention. They look towards the one position of iG.Vit.
They infested into Bulba, but he didn't have the vision to charge there. Now they're actually just going back into mid. They're like, okay, if you guys want to go into our jungle,
they're charging. Tier 1 tower is pretty low. Bulba's going in. Where's that TP support? There's still 4 heroes here. Dogfight's ready as well. Raid jump from Mason. The Shackles on the Spirit Breaker. No more bashes. Dubu go to sleep in the arrow timing. Sweet as sugar. And the back end of the wall. Where's your follow-up damage? It's all from Dogfight sitting in the sandstorm. Doesn't even go into the epicenter. 3 heroes down. Dogfights. He has the Burrow Strike. He'll have to use it to escape, not to attack by Paparazzi. Stormbolt forward. Already lost his SK. They need the vision, but the Invis rune sitting in iG.Vit's bottle. He'll trigger it and get out of range of the Sentry. Want to survive the fight.
He almost found a kill on Darkseer there as well. iG.Vit just picked up the Yule Scepter. If he saw that TP, just a moment earlier he would have been able to Yule and then finish him off. Crazy fight overall. I'm not even sure. I guess iG.Vit won that by a bit on this.
We can see it again. So there's the initiation. It looks crazy, but then DC come from the north and the west. But this arrow timing was so slick.
The main problem with it is that the song is so short that, yes, they connect that arrow, which would have probably connected anyway, so the song ends up doing almost nothing. And it also set up iG.Vit for a good play with the vacuum into Sanking Stun. So they counterplayed it very well.
That was practically a Ravage. We talk about the combination of the Darkseer working with the Sven. I remember the panel were touching on it earlier today as well, of just like the SK, is he really that much of a fantastic pickup? But when you can back 3 people into a perfect line stun like that, on top of the combination of the ultimate of the Darkseer, it definitely works.
iG.Vit's lineup is starting to hit their stride now. This is very big, getting that Sanking Blink, 100 gold. Sven is going Blink next item. That was something they talked about in the panel as well, having multiple initiations to play with this Darkseer. iG.Vit, I think, got through the hardest stage of the game. The last 5 minutes were supposed to be really hard. They outplayed DC, and now they're in a really good spot to continue this game. Because now we're reaching that point when, okay, when DC want to fight, they kind of have to go for these 5-man pushes with DP ulti. They're fighting into Vacuum Wall, Storm Jumping, and the Warcry, which is just amazing this game. And this was a 3rd pick Sven.
Yep.
And then they pick DP and Lifestealer into that. So like Warcry is just incredible until there's the Diffusal Blade on this Lifestealer. This armor is just gonna render everyone, I don't want to say unkillable, but this DC lineup doesn't have too much damage apart from the physical.
DC need a way to penetrate the defense, literally, of iG.Vit, or else this graph's going to continue to swing vertically. iG.Vit have actually managed to swing about 6,000 in the experience. This tells the tale a little bit more than the gold graph of just how much iG.Vit are getting control of this game back. They don't hold the gold lead. In fact, for this entire game, they haven't held that yet. But that's also because DC are continuously pressuring towers, and now they're going for the big man. They're going in for Roshan. The arrow will buy them all the stun time in the world, and they have the damage. At least Roshan doesn't have Warcry.
Yeah, they have the minus armor from the Blightstone, and then DP has both double damage and Exorcism. Nice play from DC to identify they can go for this. They will probably be disengaging here. Actually, Bulba gets infested.
They're looking for a target for MTP to bottom lane.
I don't think they can kill Sakata here with this charge. He's going to try, though.
Yep, if they have enough stun time, the Observable's giving him the vision with the Death Bomb. Actually, the push back! No, they don't! 135 HP is enough for the Storm to live.
Close call.
Very close.
If there was an arrow or just an extra swing, he would have died there. I don't think they could have played it any better. Their layering of stuns between the charge and the Nether Strike was very good. I don't think they had an urn unless their Expiration did it.
It was on 0, and Bulba still hasn't finished up his treads yet, so he doesn't have that bonus attack speed or strength gain. But now it's up to iG.Vit. They've been attacked, and they will answer in kind.
Yep. The Aegis is currently sitting on Lifestealer, who is in the top area of the map. So iG.Vit, knowing that Lifestealer is there, are going to go for the opposite play, just see if they can get some vision out here. DC are playing very safe. 5 heroes in basement at 19 with 4 of their towers up is a pretty inefficient way to play. But if they're 100% positive there's a smoke going on and they're very scared of it, it might be the best approach. Now there's heroes starting to show on the map. Sam pings out the Sven at the bottom area. Now they're going to start
Interested to see too if Bulba discovers the Observer Ward. There's two locations you'll be expecting it on. One is the hill it is on, and the other one is to the south of that. And the Infest scattered by that Observer Ward, plus the charge forward from Bulba. Paparazzi turns, they go for the double stun, not perfectly laid, which means Bulba can now run away, but it's Zakata in the back lines, hiding in the trees, jumps down the river. The Spirit Siphon is on in July. He'll get the Greaves off and the back into a 4-man wall. The Song of the Siren stopping the fun. They've already had a lot of it. It's a 2-for-1 trade-off. Who is the target? You're looking at the Storm Spirit. The silence is there, but it was a little bit too early, and this will allow Paparazzi to continue the fight with that Sven, but he's losing life too quickly. iG.Vit has a triple kill. Sakata has run away, but he's got no mana left. He'll deny himself with a Bloodstone. The small advantage that iG.Vit had is now being turned around. DC getting their lead back into the experience in gold.
There's actually a nice side benefit of having the Naga song, is when Sven Ultimate is used, you buy yourself an additional 7 seconds, and then, you know, the duration of that God Strength isn't infinite. What is the duration of it again? 25 seconds? Yeah, here we go. So here we see the fight. So they get both stuns connected on Bulba, but at the same time. So this takes quite a while for them to bring down that hero, and then this back wall is incredible, but instant Song of the Siren from Dubu to try to get things reset. And if they could have backwalled into either the Sven stun or the Sandkick stun, that's a team wipe the other way. That's the kind of fight iG.Vit are looking for, and the back wall is great, but you know, the follow-up was already used. They used all their stuns on that opening, and then it's easy afterwards for the Death Prophet to just run heroes down. There's not enough damage to kill her.
It's just crazy that she's able to do that without, like it's just Hood, Yules now on her. So survivable, but without having the exorcism damage to Sven. Now being caught out, the arrow is sweet from Forev, bringing down Sven. No buyback available, and they keep the silence on the Darkseer. He can't search away anyway, so iG.Vit now on a mega kill streak. And they're going to take the tier 2 tower with the burning of the exorcism. The trade-off is dogfights and Sakata pushing the tier 2 tower on top lane. But Bulba, he wants more. He looks towards Super. Okay, they both pulled out of that, even though Forev jumped in and then pulled out.
Maybe they're finding their limits for how much they can dive now. There's been plays in this tournament that made me doubt they even knew it's dangerous to dive base.
Tempering their spirit
they learned the hard way.
In a best of one where you do not want to go out? Yeah, fair enough. Storm's going to TP herself all the way home. Hit himself. Dogfights left stranded.
Are iG actually going to get this top tower? iG.Vit will get this tier 2, almost. I'm very surprised DC aren't defending this with just a single charge from Bulba or something that could have helped it.
He was charging the Storm Spirit who just TP'd out.
Yeah, it could charge
it was on cooldown for a little bit longer.
Maybe charge the creep wave or something. Alright. Oh, quick blink from the Sand King. Gets away from Silence into Crypt Swarm. Will be fine and TP out as well. This is a really good sequence of events from DC though. They were starting to let iG.Vit back into the game a lot, but these two good fights have put them in a nice position again. They need to keep the pressure up, I think. Don't let iG.Vit farm, don't let them group up. Keep looking for these skirmishes with this Spirit Breaker. See, Bulba's going to use the smoke at the enemy shrine, then actually TP bottom and look for an opening. iG.Vit are not connected yet. If they jump Paparazzi now, this could be a very quick kill. Oh, he blinked into farm.
Yeah, he just blinked over to farm at the moment. Naga Star is going to get hexed off on the side, but Paparazzi's already down. But what do they do about this? Super and Ninja reveal themselves. They throw down the Mass Serpent Walls, but Super's been bounced around like a ragdoll thanks to the badges. Almost down. The Greaves will give him a little bit more life, but Dubu controls the Darkseer. You've still got the army of the Darkseer fighting for them as well as the Mass Serpent Walls. Mason will turn towards the hero, and with a charge forward from Spirit Breaker, they're able to not only farm up the heroes, but they'll farm up the wards as well. And this means pressure time. Combinations down, no Mass Serpent Wards, no Darkseer back wall.
Paparazzi's getting caught out a lot this game. This is definitely not his best showing. Maybe this play wasn't too easy to read, but they've made 3 or 4 connections on him with a charge into arrow. It is hard, by all means, to farm like this, but they can't have the Sven keep dying like this. That's the main reason DC are in such a good position. The Sven has died 6 times. He started to come back on farm, died 2 times in quick succession.
Silence.
Doesn't look so good anymore again.
iG.Vit catching out the Sand King thanks to Crypt Swarm. He was unable to blink away, and the arrow again right on the money from Forev.
DC are feeling themselves, man. They're going for one play after the other. Just keep going fast. Next play. And then how you want to play Spirit Breaker. You want to charge.
Yep.
Da-da-da-da. Da-da.
Paparazzi's trying to get his farm on bottom lane.
He's showing again. You can see now he's starting to get paranoid. Like, he farms one wave and then he's just TP's back to base. He's scared of being charged.
It's crazy when he has the Observer Ward and Sentry still there, but you just never know what's going to be coming at you. Bulba is charging past the tier 2 tower on top, just towards in July, who retreats to his tier 3. And this is the last remaining out of tower of iG.Vit. And they've only claimed 2 of Digital Chaos. This gold advantage stretching closer towards 7.5, and with their death to the tower, over 8k. iG.Vitality have to stop the bleed. You're right, the Digital Chaos are doing exactly what they need to. They're pushing and keeping pressure on, but where do they go from here? 25 minutes in, you still don't want to go high ground, do you? Like, it's a Darkseer combination in the safety of the iG.Vit base.
Oh, iG.Vit found super.
These pickoffs are the beautiful thing they
Pretty
want.
dead. Oh, it's got to be nice playing Spirit Siphon with charge. That's pretty nice. You just keep refreshing your Spirit Siphon that way. What do they need to do? I think DC keep controlling the map, get picks like this, get the next Roshan, then think about high grounding perhaps. As long as they keep picking off heroes like this, they're just extending their lead and buying more time. You feel like when you look at the draft and look at iG.Vit's lineup that they're going to hit this point of critical mass when it gets really difficult to teamfight into them. That point, it's not even close, man. This Sven is so underfarmed. He's having a really, really rough game. Generally, at this point in time, you definitely want to have Mask of Madness Blink and the BKB, and right now he's like 2k behind par. And that's with 160 CS on that Sven as well. He's currently 6th on the overall net worth, on a hero that wants to play from ahead.
With no control of your Ancients, that doesn't look like it's going to be repaired anytime soon. The only way is killing heroes. That's it.
He's terrified. He's standing in this left side alone. His entire team is in their base. Now he's going to TP back. So
yep.
He walked all the way up there to stand in the trees, enjoy nature, and then it's like, maybe I got to make some money to be able to justify just standing out in the trees.
Man, it's...
He's not even going for this creep wave, man. This is one of the best ways of showing why Dota is a mental game, is playing against Spirit Breaker when you're behind. It's...
The Observer Ward only just caught a glimpse of iG.Vit moving down to the bottom lane, and he instantly moves back to base. Obviously, you already farmed the wave, but you're right, they're living in a pit of their own fear.
I think at this point, what you need to do as iG.Vit is, this BKB on Storm Spirit needs to be put to use. They need to look to fight. If the fight goes well, you bring Sven back in the game that way. They have to make space for their Sven. He can't make space for them right now. Darkseer has the key items he needs. He has Greaves and Force. It's pretty okay. Maybe wants a Blink Dagger, but it's playable without. And the Storm BKB will be, as we talked about, just strategically in this game draft-wise, an amazing Storm game later on. So
God, this Storm game, though, is going to be a nightmare. He just walks right over the top of the dire Observer Ward, has to bolt himself up. He's not bolting. He's actually not going over the top of Bulba, so Bulba connects on both of his stuns. And the Storm Spirit will fall. They were looking for the ward. They put the sentry down, but it's right on top of the shrine. It's the perfect counter ward if DC want to control Roshan.
It's a big kill. Now that BKB got delayed again. It was very close. Now he's 400 away. Loses Bloodstone charges again. He's down to 5. DC are still just map controlling. The Rosh will spawn in about 10 seconds, and then they can start working on that.
There's no way iG.Vitality can contest that. If they do, they're going to lose so many heroes.
They can actually contest this if they smoke. It is possible. Do they have one? They haven't smoked on Shaman. I don't think you give this Aegis away. It's Aegis and Cheese. The second Roshan is so important this patch. If they know it's happening, they gotta go. They gotta try it.
So here's that gank on the Storm Spirit once more. It's just everybody together.
Yeah. So it's an awkward position for Storm because he feels like he doesn't have time to turn and jump over the Spirit Breaker. But so what he needs to do is he needs to jump far enough to the side that he can turn and jump across in the opposite direction, but his jumps were too short. You can see DC were having a little bit of a laugh about it. They probably thought, you know, he should have been able to get out of that one. But don't get the kills, you don't try. And, well, iG.Vit were not sure Roshan spawned or were not willing to try and contest. So that one also goes the way of DC, and they are starting to rack up serious advantages for this high ground push now.
The Mass Serpent Wards are taking the tier 1 tower on bottom lane, so at least iG.Vit will get a little bit of injection of cash. Paparazzi has a double damage trimmer for Rev. I don't know if he caught a glimpse of him in the nighttime. I don't believe he did, but it was just a blink into the trees and a quick TP home for the Sven. And he goes all the way back to Fountain too, not even towards the front lines. He needs a little bit more money, 700 gold, to get that BKB up. And then they'll have 2 BKBs with the high ground defense you know is coming. DC with an Aegis model, they're going to push up high ground. Aegis on him, Cheese on iG.Vit.
Who's going to stop this Lifestealer when he uses Rage and hits this tower 5 times and then runs back is the question.
Your only hope is he just sits inside of July's wall.
Yeah, they have the wall.
Yeah.
It's just going to Rage, hit, Hit. Oh, my rage is running out. Okay, 500 damage. Let's try that again. That's fun. Just 10 seconds. We're gonna go again.
Mirana's trying to get there.
That's a problem,
down to
man.
the shrine.
That's a really big problem. They actually have nothing
Yep.
to deal with this rage. It's just gonna keep going. Okay, if you're going too early like that,
X, Shackle, 4-star from in. Nice double silence from Abed. Made the control very difficult. And a blink is up for Dubu. He'll actually get all 5 heroes of iG.Vitality.
group stage DC would go on that.
You know, main stage, they're just like, okay, we'll just sit here and wait for Jigglypuff to draw smiley faces on our faces.
Very good choice not to go for that fight, I think. And the nice thing for, oh well, the reason that even came to be was that Mason walked in a little bit too early before he had rage.
There
He
goes
could just do it
Mason once again.
Close on the arrow there from Forev.
But they don't have the Song of the Siren to save him this time.
He still has the Aegis. Well, let's tower is down to half. Wait for the next wave. Just don't go in too early. He went in before rage was off cooldown last time. That's why they even connected that Sven stun. It's going to heal up nicely here and go again. And iG.Vit are not doing anything except waiting in their base. Sven Mithril Hammer is so close. 300 gold per BKB on him. The Storm is BKB, and they know Song of the Siren is on cooldown, so they can't even ensnare isolate. Here we go.
Here comes Mason, rages up, tries to go on to Sakata. Albad's committed the ultimate as well, so Exorcism hasn't got the kill on the tower just yet. Fortification's protecting it. The spirits are close enough, now the tower will fall, but where is the attack? The BKB is still not there for Sven. He's going back and actually selling items so he can buy the BKB to fight this, but in the time he's done that, DC have already taken the melee racks, and they're leaving.
See ya, guys. Thanks for the fight. It was a great fight. That was like the freest racks of the tournament, I think. They're just looking at them. They were like, oh, I don't have BKB, I gotta go buy it. And it's too late. But, okay, now iG.Vit are in fighting shape. It does, by all means, not look good, but they have the tools to take a good fight. They know Song of the Siren is still on cooldown for a little bit, and they're gonna try their luck here, going straight away. 2 BKBs, Blink Dagger, back wall. Anything can happen now. The best way to initiate is that Storm jumps a target, and they hope for DC to respond, because then they expose themselves to the back wall counterplay.
DC's flying something. They feel something is up. Now they get information. Arbed is underneath that Radiant Observer Ward. They want to go on him. The Song of the Siren. It just came off cooldown. They need to stun onto the Naga, but she blinked up, and now Song of the Siren. It catches the SK as well as the Darkseer around. What do you want? The arrow flies in, turn it off, and Darkseer, 5-second stun. Dogfight shows himself and regrets it instantly. Yule Scepter up towards the air. Forced up is still being charged. Cannot hide inside the sandstorm. Even dusting it so they can hit him straight away. Dogfights will fall. Abed is godlike. And iG.Vitality have 2 heroes pushing up the daisies. DC will come for more. The line is drawn to go bottom lane.
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack.
I'm trying to remember what just happened. I'm losing my mind.
Murder and murder and murder.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's like an episode of Game of Thrones.
So
Heads are rolling.
Abed had a feeling they were coming for him on the rune, so he goes and clicks. This is so greedy in a way, right? If Dogfight's instant stuns him there on the way to the rune, that could have been the way back in the game for iG.Vit. But Abed got away with it, got the rune, blinked out, and now this arrow connection is beautiful. Very nice timing. No, actually, pretty much frame perfect on that arrow connection, and then just rolled on from there. 20k lead for DC, and iG.Vit have just not looked that good in this game, but they're going to have to pull out the fights of their lives right now.
They need the miracle now. They need the miracle. The force up of In July into a huge back wall. There's your back wall, and the stun for Sven! He got stunned up by Feren's arrow! He never got the hits off, and now is all the DC damage. They turn it into the storm. Sven's down for 50 seconds, and GG! It's over! Digital Chaos will advance, and iG.Vit, the only Chinese team in the lower bracket, are now out of the international.
Very nice showing from DC overall in this game, I think. It's refreshing to see this early aggression that they pulled out with the Spirit Breaker. They made